All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, guys, here we go. A little 2-point perspective coming at you today. Basic rules behind 2-point perspective, and then we're going to talk about challenges. So on my board, what you're going to see right now is we're going to see 2 dots, right? One here, one here. These are the 2 points of our 2-point perspective. And then I'm going to draw a line across those 2 points. This is going to be your horizon lines. Okay, so when we talk about 2-point perspective, this is your basic setup. Okay, this is the setup of all 2-point perspective drawings. This is how you begin. Now, you can do a vertical line with 2 dots on it, and that will give you a different kind of look of the way your drawing can be. You can also do a tilted line. You can do all kinds of funny little, but the basic setup is I've got a line that is straight across and 2 dots that live on the edge of that line, okay? So that's your basic setup. So if you start with that, life's gonna be easy. Now, from there, we have to establish a set of rules, and we have to understand what it is we're trying to draw. So what am I trying to draw right now? I'm trying to draw basically the environment that exists within this 3-dimensional world. Okay, so if I was drawing, like, say, a city block, which is a really basic 2-point perspective drawing, I would draw all of the built things, all of the buildings, all of the sidewalks, all of the signs, all of the streets, all of the post office boxes, all of the little things that are all over the street everywhere, the lights, everything, would all be drawn in 2-point perspective. But I get kids ask me all the time, like, what about a tree or something like that? A tree, you just draw a tree, okay? But you draw it within this perspective world. A car, you would use to draw perspective. It's man-made objects, so you would use that to probably in perspective. A person, you would just draw a person. You just draw them within the world, and I'll kind of get to that when I show a little bit of basic concepts of it. But real simply, if it's built by a man's hand, you probably use perspective to draw it in this world. Okay, but if it's natural, then it's probably not drawn in perspective, it's just drawn. Okay, so that's kind of the basic rule. But how perspective works, at least to a basic understanding, is everything is based on drawing some form of a cube. Think of it like Lego blocks. Okay, so if I was to draw a vertical line here, right? So I want to draw this, and I'm going to turn this into a box, and I'm going to do that using my dots, and these are called orthogonal, or excuse me, those are called vanishing points, and these lines that I'm going to draw are called orthogonal lines. Okay, so if you want to get really fancy about it, that's what their names are. So these are the vanishing points here, and then this is an orthogonal line. So I draw the bottom back to this dot over here, and I'm going to draw the top back to this dot over here, right? Now, if I drew them all the way back, I'm not going to use all of that orthogonal line, so I only draw it a short distance because I don't want to waste time erasing. Does that make sense? Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to draw the same bottom, but I'm going to draw it back to the other dot. Okay, now I'm going to take and I'm going to draw the top back to the other dot. And I'm going to try to be as accurate as possible about this. I really want my ruler to get to the dot. Okay, so now what we have here, you have to visualize for a second. This is the corner of a cube right here. So we have to draw the right side of the cube and we have to draw the left side of the cube. Okay, so the next thing that we do is we draw a vertical line here and a vertical line here. The most mistakes that are made at this point are kids drawing their lines off of vertical. Okay, that's the biggest mistake that a kid's gonna make when doing this. So it's gonna look really weird and like truncated kind of. It's just gonna look really funny, okay, when you're done. Now, we're gonna perform what's called crisscross applesauce. So I'm gonna crisscross applesauce here. I'm gonna draw from the line on the right, I'm gonna draw back to the left dot. So crisscross applesauce, watch me go. Boom, and now crisscross applesauce, line on the left, dot on the right, and this will complete our box. Okay, now as we always want to do with this, we want to do a little bit of erasing just to clean it up. And what we've got here is we've got ourselves a little box sitting on the ground, okay? So that's the basics of this, okay? So you've got basically 3 types of lines that you can draw here. So you've got 1, a vertical line, 2, a orthogonal to the 1 dot, which is this one over here, and 3, an orthogonal to the 2 dot, right? So those are my choices. I got a vertical line, I got a dot 1 or a dot 2. Okay, so those are my choices. And with a combination of those, I can make a box. So what? Who cares? It's a box, right? Ooh, so what? I know how to draw a box. Ooh, great. It's not just the ability to draw the box that makes this cool. It's the ability to then manipulate and change the boxes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw all 3 challenges for you guys. Real quick, I'm going to get a quick sharp on my pencil. I'm using a lead pointer. And I'm just going to get a quick sharp on it so that I can draw really, really accurate lines here. Okay? So there we go. That's nice and sharp. And I'm going to now talk about these challenges. So here are my challenges. Excuse me, my paper got a little wet down here. But my challenges are all going to be basically these weird shapes. So if we look at a cube or a box in, this is flat world here, okay? Whoops. Okay, so this is flat world. This is not 3D world. This is 3D world, okay? So in flat world, if I'm looking at the box from the side, it would just look like a rectangle or a square. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I'm looking at the box from the side, I'm looking at a rectangle square. With the challenges, I'm starting with the rectangular square and then I'm removing parts of the boxes, right? So I'm removing parts of the boxes and I'm going to make the boxes look like this, but in 3 dimensions. Okay, so I'm going to figure out how to manipulate these boxes. So here's one way, a super easy way to manipulate a box. This is like the easiest way you can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this side of the box simply by drawing 1 orthogonal line. Watch. Boom. The side of that box is now gone. Okay, so I've erased essentially the side of the box. And I can continue to do stuff like that all day long. Watch, I'm going to go a vertical line here, and now I'm going to go back to this dot over here. And now all I have to do is erase that section of the box, and I have removed, effectively, that section of the box. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add back in that section of the box, because we're going to use this box to draw challenge number 1. And then I'm going to erase this section of the box that I drew because I want to put that side back on. So I'm going to get a little bit creative here. Okay, so here's my box, right back where it was. So there's my box. It's got some ugly lines on there because when you erase, when you draw lightly, you can erase it. When you don't draw lightly, you can't. So here we go, box number 1. So back to flat world. What we want to do with box number 1 is we're going to remove the upper left corner and the lower right 2/3 of the box. Okay, so we're just going to take this piece right here and we're going to get rid of it, and we're going to take this piece right here and we're going to get rid of it. So that's challenge number 1. So watch this, super easy. I'm going to remove this corner and I want to remove that corner. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start by drawing a vertical line, and now all I can do here is if I draw this back to dot number 1, that's going to look really weird. That doesn't belong there, okay? So if I draw this back to dot number 2, this actually makes some sense. So I'm going to go and I'm going to put my pencil on the dot and I'm going to rotate my ruler around and I'm going to draw it right there. Now I'm going to take my eraser, and this is where it gets magic, because right now it doesn't look like I've removed anything. Okay, it's just a bunch of lines on the box. Okay, so if I want to remove it, boom, all I have to do erase, and I have now effectively removed that part of the box. Now, a lot of kids get confused on this next part. They want to remove this corner over here. Nah, 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 nah. We're removing everything on this side of the box. This side over here is the 3D side. This is the flat world side. This is the 3D world side. Okay? So now all we have to do is the same thing. We're going to go vertically down. So I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to go vertically down just a little bit, somewhere in line with this. And now, back to the dot on the right, or dot number 2. Boom. There we go. Now, again, doesn't look like I've done anything. What I need to do, I need to erase. And I'm going to erase that corner. Now that still kind of looks weird. It doesn't look complete. It doesn't look done. That's because we have to now finish the 3D part. This is the hardest part for kids to understand. On one side of the box, you've got the shape that we're drawing out. On the other side of the box is all of the 3D parts. So if you think back to like 1 point perspective, you drew like the letter T, and then you made all the 3D parts, okay? The right side of this box would be where the letter was at. The left side of the box would be where all the 3D parts are at. So now I just take it and I go back to this dot over here. Watch me work. Now here we go. Boom. That's going to go there. Now this is a corner. I have to go here. Boom. And I'm going lightly here because I know I'm going to have to erase a little bit. Now, it's always like the questions like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Watch. Now I go back to dot number 2. I'm going to make a line here, there, and I'm going to go vertical, and if everything turns out the way it's supposed to, I get a pretty good, it's okay, but I get a pretty good little section removed. So I get, again, this is a dot line, vertical line, dot line, dot line, vertical line, dot line. I'm not in love with that one. I'll probably look at that one again because it's not, it's kind of off a little bit. So I'm going to get that back here. Oh yeah, that's way better. My first line was off. So that's why I want to have a nice sharp pencil, so I got a really good looking exact point here. So there we go. So that's how you take away. So we've got a step that goes up, over, like that, okay? So up, over, and there we go. So that's challenge number 1. Now, challenge number 2 is a little different. So I'm going to remove the same corner as I did here, but now I'm going to remove this corner down here, and H stands for hole. That means I'm going to put a hole in this guy. So every challenge starts by drawing, in your mind, think the answer. Every challenge starts by drawing what? Right? It starts by drawing a box. So now I'm just going to draw another box. I'm going to do this really quick. Try to get it to where the camera can see it well. Crisscross Applesauce. There we go. Something like this. That's bad. There we go. That's better. Good. All right. So now we're going to erase what we don't use. My dad used to call that taking out the trash. He taught me how to do this a long, long time ago, and he called that part taking out the trash because you get rid of all the garbage. Okay? So here we go. Now, I'm going to remove this corner, and I'm going to put a hole in this guy. So very quickly, you can watch me do it. You pause the video and then do it with me. Here we go. Line there. I'm going to go all the way down here. Line here. Those are going to be my 2 corners that I removed. Now, why did you draw the 3D part first? Well, that's a great question. Because it doesn't matter which way you do it. You can do it either way. If you saw, I drew a little guideline there that time, up and down. with my ruler. That guideline just helps me show me where I need to draw my lines to. Now I erase. Like that. Time to finish with some 3D stuff. Now I'm just going to make this vertical here. Watch this. Little guideline there. That's to help me. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that worked out nicely. And there you go. So that's my shape right here. Now for the hole. Vertical line. Dot 2. Dot 2. Vertical line. Sometimes kids think they're done there. Not yet. This corner. Dot 1. Boom. There it is. Challenge number 2. And then I'm going to do challenge number 3 up here. Okay? So now, challenge number 3. Here we go. Box. Because we always start by drawing a box. We don't start by drawing the challenge shape. We start by drawing a box. Always start by drawing a box. Always start by drawing a box. So draw a box, crisscross. You can say it if you want, but you're at home, so I can't hear you. Applesauce. There we go. Put my ruler down. Erase, erase. Now the stair step. Now it's time for the stair step. Here we go. We got the stair step up, the stair step down, remove the corner, and a hole right there. How hard could it be, right? Let's see. Watch this. Dot. Dot. Vertical. Vertical. See what I'm doing? Dot. Dot. Vertical. 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 Dot. Would you look at that? Erase. Erase a lot. Erase a lot. Here we go. Lots of little lines here. Dot. Dot. Look at that. Those two just happen to coincide on the same line. Yours might not. Okay? Yours might not. Dot. 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 Watch. Now, a lot of kids think they just draw a line straight on the back and it's done. That's not how you do it. You draw a line straight on the back, you mess it up. Because this goes over, down, down. Or, oh, excuse me, over, down, down. Over, down, down. So this somehow has to go over, down, so that it looks three-dimensional. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by making a vertical line. Here, this whole section has a vertical line. Now, we want to go out from our dot here, vertical line, out from our dot here, vertical line, and now this guy back here, he's in line with this guy, so we're just going to do this real quick. This is easy. Just like that. Now I'm going to erase all the rest of that garbage. And look at that. Hey, 3D. Here we go. How do we draw the hole? Vertical line. dot, dot, vertical line, this corner to the dot over here. Boom. Drop the ruler. Everybody's happy, happy, happy. And we are done with the challenges. That's number 3. Once you can do all that, you're ready to move on to the final challenge. See you later.